Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mindset Mentress Podcast. I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm actually very excited to talk about this specific subject that I have been wanting to talk about for a bit, but I held it off until I felt like I had truly mastered it myself. And this topic, if you can look at the title, is basically about how to balance your masculine and your feminine energies. There's a lot of talk online about what energy is, what feminine energy is, what it means to be toxic versus healed versus wounded. And there's just so much information out there that I felt like I wanted to give my take on this. And in my opinion, balancing your masculine and your feminine energy is the highest form of self love. You know, it's important that we know how to balance these energies because we all have both of these energies within us. Regardless if we are male or female, we both have these energies that are within us that needs to be aligned. And when these energies are aligned, we can experience ultimate forms of joy, happiness, peace, and also a lot of self-motivation and courage and bravery to exist in this world. And we're able to build lives for ourselves and for the people around us in the most worry free, calm, loving, yet driven and focused ways. So that's what I want to talk about in this episode. I hope you'll be able to get something out of this, especially if you are just starting out your healing journey or you're just being introduced to your spiritual development, and you're just kind of getting curious about these subjects. As someone who has been learning and studying this for the last 5 years, I hope I'm able to give it to you and present this information to you in the most easy to grasp way so that you can take that information and see how it fits your personal life and see how you can use this information to build a more peaceful, loving, calm, successful life for yourself. So, before we talk about how to balance the masculine and the feminine energy within you, I think we should talk about what is the masculine energy and what is the feminine energy. In a nutshell, the masculine energy is direction, action, and goal oriented. The feminine energy is receiving, resting, intuition led energy. Okay, so you can see how these two energies can be a little bit of a contrast, a little bit contradicting, but when they work together within you, when these energies are aligned within you, you're basically unstoppable. Okay, it's like I said, it's the ultimate form of self love. So going back to the masculine energy, like I said, is goal oriented, it's action driven, it's led by, the physical world, it's led by how to set up a goal and go after those goals. It's very strategic, it's very logical, it's very action, hustle, go, go, go oriented. Within the masculine energy, within you, you can have a wounded masculine energy and you can also have a healed, more balanced masculine energy. So when your individual masculine energy is wounded, it'll show up in ways where you are ego driven, where you're extremely self critical, you are not as grounded, you're controlling, you're run by fear, and you're very stuck in the mind. Okay. And you don't like competition and you feel the need to one up other people and you're so self critical and you self sabotage. So that is the wounded masculine energy that's within you. Opposed to that, a healed masculine energy that's within you is grounded, it's stable, it's confident in itself. It is still goal oriented and driven and motivated and all of that, but that motivation and that drive comes from a place of feeling more intentional, where it wants to be of service to others and it still wants to give and go, 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 but it's not doing that to serve its ego self. It's doing that to be of service to other people. Okay? So, like I said, that was a lot of information, so I'm just going to summarize it one more time. As men and women, we both have the masculine and the feminine energies within us. Okay? When we align the masculine and the feminine energies and we come into balance is when we feel whole and we feel self-love and all those good feelings. However, these two energies cannot come together in a healthy way unless the masculine energy is healed within itself and the feminine energy is healed within itself. Okay? So, like we just talked about, the masculine energy that's unhealed or wounded is ego driven, versus the healed masculine energy is more service driven. Key word is they're both driven. They're both goal oriented, they're both hustle oriented, but the intention is different. Okay? Now let's talk about the feminine energy. Again, the feminine energy can be wounded and the feminine energy can be toxic. So let's talk about how the feminine energy can be wounded and toxic and what that would look like in your everyday life if this energy is not in harmony with itself first. The wounded feminine energy will always feel like it needs validation external of it. It will always need people outside of it to tell it that it looks beautiful, that it's amazing, it's perfect. It always needs external validation and approval to be at harmony. Okay, that's the wounded feminine energy. The wounded feminine energy can also come off as not wanting to take space, not having a voice of its own. It will also come off as people pleasing. It will always look to keep the peace around it, and it'll never want to speak up for itself. That's the wounded feminine energy. The wounded feminine energy is always going to feel like it's living in a world of patriarchy where it needs to water itself down and doesn't step into its full power. That's the wounded feminine energy. The feminine energy can also actually be toxic at times. So, what does this toxic feminine energy look like? Toxic feminine energy can look like saying things like, I don't need a man to make me happy, or I can do everything on my own, I don't need anyone's help, or it can even maybe put down people or shame other people for wanting to provide for it. Okay? So that is the toxic feminine energy. Toxic feminine energy also can show up in ways where it feels like it cannot rest. It feels like it cannot allow other people to take care of it so it can receive the love and nurturing and the centering that it needs to feel good within itself. So, how can the feminine energy, or what does a healed feminine energy look like? Healed feminine doesn't need external validation. For one, feminine energy also doesn't react quickly out of emotion. Feminine energy is extremely intuition led. Feminine energy is also very self sufficient in terms of the emotional support that it needs to give to itself and the people around it. Feminine energy or healed feminine energy is also compassionate. It's very empathetic, it's very loving, it's very giving, but at the same time, the healed feminine energy also knows where to draw the boundaries and where to draw the line and stand up for itself and speak up for itself when it's needed to. Okay? So that in a nutshell is the feminine energy. The feminine energy, like I said, is rested. Feminine energy is being energy. It is the energy of resting. It's intuition led. It's love giving, nurturing, generous, kind, all of that. Toxic feminine energy can be very male hating. Toxic feminine energy can also be very external validation seeking, and toxic feminine energy can also be very not so nurturing towards the self, versus the healed feminine energy that is more giving, loving, but also able to stand up for itself and speak up for itself. So now, how can we bring together the healed masculine energy within you and the healed feminine energy within you, and how can you bring them together and balance them together? A really great way to think about this is the breadwinner husband as the masculine energy and the stay-at-home mom or wife as the feminine energy. So the masculine energy, the breadwinner, needs to be goal oriented, needs to be action and hustle oriented to go out there to become self-sufficient financially and to also be protective of the feminine. Okay, so that is how that's a great way to think about what a masculine energy should be like. The feminine energy, if you think about it as the stay-at-home wife or a stay-at-home mother, that energy is loving. It takes care of the house. It serves and nurtures everybody, including the masculine. So when you bring these two energies together, which is the goal-oriented, hustle-oriented, protective masculine that's healthy, with the loving, nurturing, kind, supportive, home-oriented feminine, you put them together, you are whole. You are whole because you start feeling like I can provide and protect for myself. And at the same time, when my masculine that needs to provide and protect for me is not feeling its best, me as a feminine can motivate the masculine to be okay with rest. It's okay as a feminine, especially when you get to a point where you're healed feminine. You realize that it's okay to rest. It's okay to not always be in hustle. It's okay to take a midday nap if you wanted to. And having those two energies constantly back and forth is almost like it's a back and forth kind of thing where it's like the masculine knows that it needs to go out and take care and protect and all of these things. And this is the energy that's within you, right? The masculine within you. And then the feminine energy knows that it needs to love and nurture and support regardless of what the masculine is going through, especially the masculine is going through a pretty bad phase particularly, or feels depleted or feels insecure or feels failure. Your feminine will come in and be strong enough to pull up that masculine within you. So you have these two energies that are within you, and once you have this back and forth, the energies get so beautifully balanced that you will literally will become unstoppable. You know, your masculine will have enough motivation from your feminine side, and your feminine side will feel so safe and protected by the masculine side that you become the fullest expression of yourself. And it is the ultimate form of self love, because after a point, you'll stop caring for external validation. You'll stop caring for what people think about you because your feminine and the masculine within you is standing up for itself. You know, you're standing up for yourself. You're speaking up for yourself. You're taking the rest that you need for yourself. You are cooking for yourself. You're also providing for yourself. And it's such a beautiful place within you. You create this garden, truly, you create this garden inside of you that it's just the more you water that, the more peace and love and all these feel good things that you're able to feel. And what comes with balancing the masculine and the feminine is also a sense of just, I've got myself. And what comes also from a spiritual perspective when you balance the masculine and the feminine is this intense connection to the universe, intense connection to God, to everything that's around you. You can sit by yourself and look out the window at the birds and the trees, especially now it's springtime, right? And you just feel contentment. It's an intense feeling of contentment and security and love and just being. And you're okay with just being. And in order for the masculine actually to go out there and achieve its dreams and go after its passions, it needs its feminine side to be so grounded and so secure and content and love that it can pour that love into the masculine side and pour that intuition based knowledge into the masculine side to fuel the masculine to go after its dreams. And to give a great example myself, like when I'm sitting here and I'm making these videos and I'm podcasting, I'm right now very much in my masculine because I am trying to convey a message to you. I'm trying to teach, I'm trying to express, which is again very outward focused, right? Where I'm trying to give you something, which is very masculine. But the moment that I'm done with, filming and recording all of this, I am on my bed reading a book, or I'm just drawing or coloring or just listening to music and just resting. And that's my feminine side. And if my feminine side was not getting the rest and the nourishment that it needed, it would not be able to fuel my masculine side, which allows me to do this. Similarly, with my travel content creator journey, which I've been on for the last 5 years, I traveled a lot by myself. And so I was in charge of carrying my suitcases, going to the airport by myself, trying to figure out taxi situations and going from place to place and being very action oriented. But once I got to specific places, I was able to kind of turn off that masculine side and that need for control and being very like, I need to do this, this, and this, to being very much more in my being. Okay, so in my beginning of my travel content creator journey, I was actually very much more action based, where I would want to see everything on the list. Versus now, I understand that I need a more that I need more rest, and I love my rest, and so I take days. Just some days I just take off to just do nothing, to journal, to drink tea and look at the scenery, or go to a spa, and prioritizing that feminine aspect and nourishing and pouring into my feminine aspect, so then that full feminine side of me can pour into my masculine side of me, so I can come out here and do this and do other things that are more goal oriented. Is just such a beautiful feeling. And I hope for all of you watching, whichever part of the journey you're at, to take time out to connect with the masculine side of you and the feminine side of you. The masculine, like I said, is direction and goal oriented. The feminine is more being, intuition led, and nurturing oriented. And we all have both energies within us. We just have to tune into the right frequency, which is more healthy, where we want the healthy mask and the healthy femme to come together and get balanced. You'll be unstoppable. It's the ultimate form of self love. If there's this one episode that you will ever watch on my podcast, I hope it's this episode, because you will truly, truly become so complete and so whole and just in so much peace that you deserve. With that, I hope you were able to get something out of this episode. If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe and like. Also connect with me on social media. And I'll see you next week with another episode. Until then, this is Nikki K signing out. Bye.